Hey internet, Eric here. It's Black Friday. My daughter's asleep. My wife is working retail, so she's one of the unlucky ones. She's stuck working Black Friday till I think 12:30 tonight, so she probably won't get home till 2 in the morning. Fuck if I know. So the Wii just froze, so Netflix is down for right now. I don't feel like getting up and watching a movie. So I figured I would drink and stream on YouTube. Some people like my live streams. Um, Not that many people have actually watched my live streams, but I have nothing better to do on a Friday night. So I figured I'd just sit here and bullshit. I'm trying to think of some of the things I've recently talked about. A buddy of mine recently talked about Uma Thurman and something she said on Twitter. And it was something regarding Harvey Weinstein and this and that. And I went to Twitter and I checked out what she said on Twitter. And it was actually not what she said, but it was like a retweet. So, um, something about what was it? I'm paraphrasing. Hopefully, what was it? The tweet was, "I hope the bullet kills you slowly," or some shit like that. And he mentioned basically if Uma Thurman is now saying this stuff about Harvey Weinstein and talking about how, and he is a piece of shit. Everything he's done to these women and this and that is horrible. But my friend Jay at JVTV, he made some good points. He said, well, if Uma is now publicly coming out and saying how horrible he is and how much of a piece of garbage he is, which he is, um, she's glad that that this tweet or whatever is that he's gonna die slowly and this and that. But then Jay also brought up then why was she always seen hugging him, laughing with him, holding his hand, being real nice to him if she had known all this time? And it gets you wondering. Um, I've never been sexually harassed, never been sexually abused. So I personally don't know why it would take someone so long to come forward. And I could never imagine that. But I don't know as of right now if anything happened to Uma. But the thing is, though, how can she? Why are some people going to her and like Jay's right, going to her and praising her for saying these things when she supposedly had known all this time? And it's like Quentin Tarantino. It's the same fucking thing. She was making all these Tarantino films um, for Miramax and getting distribution and this and that. When supposedly she had known what was going on, and it's like Tarantino. Tarantino admitted that one of his best buddies, Harvey Weinstein, he admitted to knowing that this stuff was happening, and yet he kept making films for him. This and So what does that make these people? Um, and the point me and Jay kind of talked back and forth a little bit was it just seemed like it was a money thing. They knew that this stuff was happening, um, and they still worked for this man. They still made money for this man. They still made money because of this man. Yet they kept their mouths shut. And that what how who's the bigger monster now? The man doing all these things to these women, or the people knowing that he's doing all these things to these women, yet still working for him? And it's really a good point. Because what was it? Let's see. She did Kill Bill 1 and 2. She did Pulp Fiction, of course. So off the top of my head, there's those three Quentin Tarantino films, and I'm pretty sure Weinstein produced all three of those. And like I said, who's the bigger monster? The person that's doing all these, or the person making money off of these people, knowing what they did? So I thought Jay made a lot of good points, and it made no sense how um, Like a lot of these people would be praising Uma for saying this and that. So who knows? And then of course Jay also made a video about the Bad Girls Club returning. And Jay, if you click on this somehow, Bad Girls Club. My wife watched a few episodes of that, and it was when we were just getting together. So it's not like I had any, clout to say, "Oh, turn this off. This is garbage," because we were just getting to know each other. And I couldn't do it, man. I mean, it's really bad when the white girls are more ghetto than the black girls on that show, and it was just horrible. You mentioned one of the girls. You told me just to go on YouTube and find a best of. It was like the blonde chick from like season 1 or something, where she gets trashed and drunk off her mind and tries to fight everybody. And it's a 6-minute long video, and I barely finished it. I mean, to each their own. I mean, you said you loved that show. One of the most horrible 6 minutes I've ever watched on YouTube. And I've watched a lot of shit on YouTube. I mean, I've watched some of my videos. Let's see what else happened. Oh, Charles Manson recently died. Wow. That is something. I mean, one of the most evil known people in American history is now finally gone. And it's a good thing, man. I mean, and ever since he died, I mean, I don't know a lot about Manson. Don't know a lot about Charles Manson at all. But I was, having some disputes with people because they were saying, "Oh, it's great that Manson is dead. One of the most notorious serial killers in America are gone." And I'm like, whoa. As evil as Charles Manson was, as much of a control he had over these people, and the despicable acts that he had them do, he never killed anybody. He had his little minions do that. He never, used a knife or anything that they used. That was all his disgusting, disgusting followers. These white trash, dirty hillbillies. And I keep telling people, I said, you gotta get facts straight. He never killed anyone. And I don't know the laws. I always wondered how he got the death penalty, and I wondered how he got, life imprisonment, since basically the little bit of research that I read up on him, the worst he ever did was like petty car theft. So, but again, I don't know California law. But then what got me going is I watched, after that, I like, what is it? Is it Watch Mojo? I really like Watch Mojo. They do these top 10 lists all the time. And after he died, they, in my news feed, or subscription feed, or whatever you'd call it on YouTube, they did a top 10 craziest things Manson has ever said. And oh my God, this man really is a fucking Looney Tune. But I couldn't take my eyes off him. He really was a living car wreck. Just some of the shit that he would talk about. And I just couldn't take my eyes away. And he had this, aura about him. You wanted to know what would he say next. He would go from speaking very intelligently to babbling incoherently. And then he had these eyes that would like pierce you every time he looked at you. There's something he said, Charles Manson isn't real. Charles Manson is many things. I'm this, I'm that. And then I'm also a straight razor if you get too close. You could feel how dangerous this guy was. And then I YouTubed, after that I just YouTubed many Charles Manson interviews. And I'm just like, holy Christ. I could see how some people would just be drawn to him, just the way he spoke. And it's mind-boggling how someone can, how would I say it? I could see why people would be drawn to him. They want to know what he's going to say next. But how can someone actually have that much of a hold on you to get you to go out and do these despicable murders? It's beyond me. Um, but yeah, I keep telling people he's not a serial killer. He's never killed anyone. And then I got into it on somebody on Twitter, and I love Twitter. Twitter is great to get arguments and troll people. But I got into this conversation where I think my tweet was, yes, Charles Manson is dead. Yes, Charles Manson is the embodiment of evil. Yes, he's psychotic. No, he's not a serial killer. So someone tweeted me and said that we know of, but then there's research being done at the ranch or wherever he was with his hillbilly friends, and he's saying, they're searching to see if there's any more bodies, and they say it's possible Charles Manson could have done this, and blah blah blah. And I said, well, do you think that they're doing research there now, still looking for bodies? Manson has been locked up since the 70s, I think. So, and then he sent me some article about how they're doing this and that. And then I told him, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. Yet your article's from 2008. Why would, how could that have any clout with me? It's 2017. It's almost, that article is almost 10 years old right now. So that means nothing. As of right now, Manson did not kill a single person. But it's so funny dealing with trolls and just dealing with people who think they're tough are behind the keyboard. I mean, I don't give a shit either. I mean, whenever I'm typing stuff behind the keyboard, I don't really give a fuck. But like wrestling fans are horrible. I haven't watched SmackDown. That's the WWE Tuesday show in a long, long time. And apparently, a wrestler named Sarah Logan debuted, and I like Sarah Logan. I've been watching her since she was Crazy Mary Dobson, doing hardcore stuff like going through barbed wire, and she was with Madman Pondo. And this one chick, she says, why would they pick? I understand they picked because she debuted with like 3 people or 2 other people, and she says, I understand why these 2 other people debuted, but why would you pick Sarah Logan? No one knows who she is. And then I said, well, yeah, lots of people know who she is. She did all that stuff with Madman Pondo. She's been on the indies for God knows how long. Oh, well, then not that many WWE fans would know who she is. No. Lots of WWE fans know who she is. Well, and it's funny how people behind, like, I did a video on when Harambe, poor Harambe, was brutally murdered for our sins. And, I've had people block me because the video is in my drunken rants. And about Harambe was, I was siding with the fact that, Harambe was shot and killed. Because, yes, you should always put a child's life before a fucking animal's. And, my video was about how the mother was getting death threats and this and that from a bunch of animal activists. And, I call them keyboard warriors. I didn't create that term. I heard it fucking somewhere. And all these people acting tough, and a lot of these were people who don't have children. They don't know how fucking kids will get away from you. Just, you turn your head for a split second. And it's funny. I did this real long rant about how people act tough behind the keyboards, and it's true. Because you're arguing. Let's just say you live in Florida and you're arguing with some fucker in California. You're never gonna meet them, so you're not gonna back down. It's like what did he say? Lawrence Tierney in Reservoir Dogs when they were doing the whole why can't we pick our own names, because everyone wants to be Mr. Black and nobody knows each other, so nobody's gonna back down. That's exactly how it is on the internet, and then that's just how it is, behind the keyboard on social media. And it's just hilarious. It's hilarious how... And then you look at these profiles. Like when I was arguing with this person about this wrestling, and I went on their profile, I'm thinking to myself, why am I wasting time arguing with you? Because you're just some punk kid, And it's just like when I was arguing about Corey Feldman. I'm going to make one more Corey Feldman video, because a lot of stuff has happened since, my last stream where I mentioned how I was blocked by him. And I've gotten some requests to make another Corey Feldman video because I found out a lot of more stuff which has supposedly happened. But I'm kind of getting tired of talking about him. Tired of like wasting my phone battery talking about him and this and that. My iPad. I'm gonna make one more video, but it's like, you see all these people who act so tough behind, a keyboard, because I had so many people attack me for questioning Corey's method. But then again, you go to their profile and you see that they're like 19 years old, 20 years old, and I'm like, wow. And the worst that they can think of to come up with me is calling me some unemployed loser vlogger. And, well, you got two right. I do have a job, so get your facts straight. But it's just so funny how tough they act, but then you can just look at them and just rip them to shreds. It's pathetic. God, it's now like 10 o'clock almost. Yeah, 10:07. God, my wife she works at a department store. It's Black Friday. I'm glad I did all my Black Friday shopping online. I've never done a Black Friday sale. I hate people. I hate being in public. Hence why I do all these videos, so I don't have to basically communicate with people so much. And not that many people watch my live streams, which is fine. So I don't really have to talk to people at all. But I never got the idea of Black Friday. Why would you want to go out, like camp out for hours and hours and hours in line to get 50% off on some movies, to get, an Xbox for this cheap or a TV this cheap? I'd rather sleep. I'd rather not fight these people. I'd rather not, go out in public and deal with any of these people. I mean, granted, you get better discounts when you do it in public than doing it online. I mean, I went on Amazon. I kind of binged, splurged online. I still found some good deals for my wish list. I got, what did I get? I got like Warwick Davis's autobiography for maybe $6, hardcover. I found the House of Wax remake for like $2, which I still think is a fun remake. I do have the original with Vincent Price. My buddy Roger gave that to me. If you watch my review of Freaks, it's on that 4-pack. House of Wax with Vincent Price is one of the 4 films on it. But House of Wax, the remake, was a lot of fun. And I thought it was funny that, I didn't think it was going to be that good. I didn't think it was going to be that entertaining. But because, they're promoting it, about the way they were promoting it was the fact that, Paris Hilton gets killed in it. And I think that helped get people to watch it because everyone hated Paris Hilton back then. Like, she was at, the top level of hating her. But, so I went in there with kind of very low expectations, but I ended up really, really enjoying it. I liked a lot of the kills. I liked the creativity in it. Some of the gore was good. And it reminds me of the way they promoted it, about Paris Hilton. She dies in a cool way. It reminds me of when Kevin Smith was promoting Jersey Girl, and I really like Jersey Girl as well. This is when I was gonna say Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer Lopez, and Ben Affleck were the it couple of like that 6 months. What do they call it? Bennifer or some shit like that. And they did Gigli, and apparently Gigli was a piece of shit. I haven't seen it yet. It's gonna be in my Is It Worth the Hate category sometime soon. But Kevin Smith was this was funny. He was promoting Jersey Girl, saying that it's not Gigli, it's not Gigli 2, and he was actually promoting that Jennifer Lopez dies within the first 15 minutes. But it still tanked because people were just sick of the media and sick of talking, about celebrities and this and that. And it's too bad because Jersey Girl ended up being a fun, sweet movie. I really enjoyed George Carlin in it. The little girl who played Ben Affleck's daughter was very good, very talented. Just a fun, sweet movie. What else did I get? I ordered what else did I order? What else did I order on Black Friday? I don't remember. Shit. Oh, I ordered this movie that only I and Roger at Channel Downstar so far have are ones that I know that we have. I ordered a movie called WrestleManiac, and it's a horrible movie. Oh, there's Roger. Hey, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Um, I just started talking about how much I hate Black Friday. I've never done a Black Friday sale, in the physical sense. So I kind of splurged on Amazon, and I was talking about what I got, and what I got was I mentioned how I got the House of Wax remake for like $2, which was I thought a really fun movie. I haven't watched the original that you sent me yet. Um, and I got WrestleManiac, and I remember mentioning WrestleManiac in one of my very first videos, and I mentioned it. It was one of my unboxing videos, and one of the things I got from in my unboxing videos was this little luchador bottle opener, and I mentioned WrestleManiac because I said he kind of looked like the wrestler in it. And I made a comment like, I don't think anyone other than me has seen it. And then Don Star commented how he also saw WrestleManiac, and that's why I like being a friend of Roger, because his knowledge of not just the popular movies and stuff, but these weird fucking obscure gems. He might know what I'm talking about, and if they're it's just me and him watching doing this video right now. If anyone, checks this out, WrestleManiac is about a group of kids who are going to Mexico to film a porno. Yes, a porno. And they go to this abandoned town, and they find out where they're filming is some town in Mexico that's being haunted by the ghost of a Mexican luchador. And a luchador is basically a masked wrestler from Mexico. That's what they call wrestling in Mexico. They call it lucha libre. It's not important. And they wrestle with masks. It's so like they have merchandise to sell, and B, that they have like a superhero or super villain persona. Well, this abandoned city was the resting place of whatever the WrestleManiac character's name was, because he would literally kill people in the ring. It's the typical cheesy, shitty horror movie, plot device. And they find out that the only way to kill the WrestleManiac is to take his mask off, and that's where he loses his strength, and then they can kill him. Because in luchador history, once you basically lose your mask, you lose your identity and you lose your career, type of thing. So it was really stupid, but really, really fucking cheesy and fun. It's like you gotta go into these movies with like that mind frame. I'm watching Sharknado. Is it gonna be great? No, it's gonna be fucking retarded. But why else would you watch it unless you think it's gonna be dumb and fun? Now, these type of movies are more fun to watch with friends, but I'll tell you what, some of those Sharknado movies are fun. I watched the first one with a group of friends, and we thought it was okay. I've watched 2, 3, 4 by myself, and she counts. But I watched part 5 with my daughter. She's 5. And you know what? My daughter she loved Sharknado 5. But I love the Sharknado sequels so much. Part 2 was a blast. They definitely became more self-aware. They knew what a hit they had on their hands. And, Raj, I don't know if you've seen Sharknado 5 yet, but man, that movie was so much fun, and everyone knows, everyone looks for the cameos. The best cameo, and if I'm spoiling it for you, Raj, I'm sorry, but the best cameo is Dolph Lundgren. The fact that they got Dolph Lundgren, of all people, Because you're gonna think of they've had Charo, they've had Biz Markie, they've had Mark McGrath, they've had Chris Jericho and Frankie Muniz. Okay, Raj has seen them all. They've had all those D-list celebrities, and the fact that they say what you will, Dolph hasn't had a probably a hit film since Universal Soldier, I think. Because let's see, he came out. We had Rocky 4, and then it's got its cult following, but Masters of the Universe. Let's see, Universal Soldier, and I can't think of anything. He did like the very first Punisher movie that no one knows about but me, which I really like with Louis Gossett Jr. I mean, he hasn't had a hit other than the Expendable movies. You know, he had a little bit of a resurgence with the Expendables movies, but the fact that they still got a name like Dolph Lundgren to show up in a 2-minute cameo at the end of Sharknado 5 is fantastic. The ending of it, kind of, you know, the way he shows up, he's the adult version of Ian Ziering's son. Reminded me of Lost in Space, the movie Lost in Space, which a lot of people hated, and I just think it's so much fun. I really like, because there's time travel and time shifting in that film. I like how Will Robinson, I was thinking of his name, you know, Danger Will Robinson, Danger, the young Will Robinson. There's, you know, a time jump or whatever, and the dad meets the adult Will Robinson, and it's a great scene. And Gary Oldman as is it Dr. Smith, I think, as the creepy, and he turns into this gigantic mechanical spider, and it's just, Matt LeBlanc is actually likable, and Heather Graham is great to look at, and it's a fun movie that I don't know why people shit on so much. I've seen it, you know, I think I still have it on VHS somewhere, but it's such a great movie. Never watched the show. Maybe when I was a kid, I saw an episode here and there. I do remember, is it Robbie the Robot? And I think Robbie the Robot, wasn't he in Forbidden Planet, when, you know, with Leslie Nielsen? I remember watching that, and my only complaint with the Lost in Space movie was that they should have gotten the original Bill Mummy, to be the adult Will Robinson. That would have been cool, because I do like when they have, I like when if they're remaking something and they throw, like, you know, a nod, like, to the original, like they throw in like an old, like one of the original characters. That would have been neat, I guess. I mean, I didn't watch the show, but you did, so I understand why that would have been cool. It's like when the Fright Night remake. I really, really enjoyed it. A lot of people think it's blasphemy, you know, remaking a classic, blah, blah, blah. I'm not getting into that again. But it was cool because I thought Colin Farrell showed how he's having fun in the Fright Night remake. But what I'm getting at is Chris Sarandon has a cameo in the Fright Night remake, and it's very funny, and it's cool to see when they do that. I can't think of things off the top of, like, they did I remember they did a shitty Munsters TV movie. And of course, you know, it was after Fred Gwynn had passed. So it was like 95 maybe. But it was cool because they had, you know, Yvonne DiCarlo was in it, and they had Al Lewis in it, and even Butch Patrick was in it. And speaking of Butch Patrick, I was talking to my dad the other day. It was around Halloween time. We were at his house, you know, taking our daughter. We were talking all the original actors from Lost in Space in the movie, except Billy, the dad, and Dr. Smith, who had died before. Oh, really? Okay. Maybe they just couldn't get them. Maybe they couldn't get them for scheduling reasons. But I found out that Butch Patrick was actually in town, I think last year. Because you know, we have a factory here in town called Autometer that makes gauges for cars and for motorcycles and this and that. And they always have like this get together like with classic cars, and they show off classic cars and this and that. And I guess last year for Halloween, my dad was talking about how sometimes they have classic cars and the trunk's full of candy, And the kids go down. They get to pick the candy out of the trunk of the car. I guess Butch Patrick was actually. I was pissed. Butch Patrick was in town with, I think, the Munster Mobile, and that would have been really cool to see. Yeah, it was the Munster Mobile because they didn't mention the dragster, the Dragula, but that would have been cool to see. I mean, he's the only one still alive, I think, unless you count the Marilyns or one of the Marilyns. But that would have been neat to see because I had recently, over the last couple of years, that's why I love Netflix. They have so many TV shows on where I can binge watch it, and I binge watched the fuck out of the Munsters. And God, that show was so goddamn funny. I loved Fred Gwynn as the man childish Frankenstein monster. I loved him. Lily was so likable and sexy. Um, Eddie Munster wasn't an annoying kid. I mean, he was just a regular kid. He wasn't too smart for his own good, like the kids from like all those 80s and 90s sitcoms. And then Al Lewis, my fucking god, he was funny by himself. But when him and Fred Gwynn were together, their chemistry, their physical comedic chemistry was beyond hilarious. And my daughter would sit and watch the Munsters with me. I couldn't tell you how many times she would have me rewind certain parts because she was laughing so loud. Like there was one joke where I think Herman had lost his job. At the I think he worked at a mortuary. Raj, you'll have to correct me, but I think he worked at like a mortuary or something like that. And he lost his job there, so he got a job at like a laundromat, and he couldn't remember the right way to switch the laundry from the washer. Yep, he was at a mortuary. He couldn't remember the right way to switch it from the washer to the dryer and then to use the ironing board, and shit, water was everywhere and flames were everywhere. And I shit you not, my daughter, of course, she's 4 or 5 at the time, had me rewind that so many times, but I had no problem with it because Fred Gwynn's physical comedy was just so fantastic. And I think it was Raj who once told me, we were talking about Pet Sematary because we talk about, Pet Sematary a lot because how much we enjoy that film. I think he was the one that mentioned how Fred Gwynn hated doing the Munsters because I guess he was typecast so much afterwards. And I understand that because, he's always known as Herman Munster. If you don't know his name, you don't know Fred Gwynn, you're going to watch Pet Sematary and you're like, oh, the old guy was Herman Munster. You're going to watch My Cousin Vinny, and you don't know his name. Oh, the judge, Herman Munster. So I understand that. And from what I've heard, I mean, I haven't seen him in much. Fred Gwynn was a very, very, very talented dramatic actor. I was watching I did a review on the Pet Sematary documentary. I guess he was an author of children's books. I had no fucking clue about that. A man of many, many talents. And I've talked about Pet Sematary so much, but how fantastic he was in that. Holy shit, you wouldn't believe he was Herman Munster. You compare the two characters, and he loved it. He loved the character. Like he would say, what did he say? Playing Judd Crandall was like putting on an old pair of overalls. They just fucking fit, and he loved it. He was in another show called Car 54, Where Are You?, which I want to see. And I think Al Lewis was in that too. I'm not entirely sure. I know they made I know they made a movie which I heard was god awful. But I know Al Lewis has a cameo in it, so I'm just assuming he was in the show. Unless they just threw him in there because they couldn't get Fred Gwynn because Fred Gwynn was dead by then. I know it stars David something. Yep, they were both in Car. Okay. What the hell is his name? Well, I don't know his real name. It's David something, but he also went by Buster Poindexter. They sung that song Hot, Hot, Hot. And he was also in Scrooged. He was the ghost of Christmas Past. I guess he was in the the movie adaptation of Car 54. Where are you? And I heard, and I've read that that's probably one of the worst television shows made into movies ever. Roger, I don't know if you've seen it. You might disagree with me because I know how much you hate the Beverly Hillbillies movie and the Flintstone movie, which I love both of them. Um, but I still want to see Car 54, Where Are You, the TV show, just to see more of Fred Gwynn's work. I really, really want to see more of what that guy has done just because I've seen so little, but I've loved everything I've seen of him. Even, like I said, I think he's got Honeymooners movies with the black cast was the worst. I fuck. I loved the Honeymooners what I saw, and I don't care who watches this and thinks I'm racist for saying that. Why the fuck would you make him with an all black cast? Now here's the thing. Like we'll take Daredevil for example, the movie, which I really enjoy. I've defended that in my You Hate It I Don't, and a lot of people like especially comic book fans. Raj, you and I talked in our like off camera chat, like off online chat, a couple weeks ago about how comic book fans are some of the hardest fans to please. And when they made the Daredevil movie, they cast Michael Clark Duncan as the Kingpin. And in the comic, the Kingpin is this big, gigantic, bald, intimidating white guy. And of course, comic book fans, they get a stick up their ass whenever something isn't like the comic. And Michael Clark Duncan was cast. Well, who else could have played the Kingpin at the time? You needed a name, okay? Michael Clark Duncan had done the Green Mile. He was in Armageddon. He was in, I think, the whole 9 yards. You have this big, intimidating, bald guy. He's black. Big fucking deal, okay? That wasn't a dumb decision. I think it was perfect casting. Now with the Honeymooners, I personally think, because this was the time when a lot of shows were like, okay, well now we need a gay character because we need equality. And I'm all about equality. So if anyone else watches this and gives me a thumbs down or gives me a stupid comment by saying that I'm just being racist or bigoted, you're retarded. I'm all for equality. But here's the thing: it's where it feels forced. We're forced to have these characters. Like we just got done watching Riverdale, and season 1, decent show. Okay, nothing great, but they have you have these gay characters thrown in here, and you can tell that they're only in there because you feel like, oh, we need a gay character. Whatever. Back to the Honeymooners. You can tell that they're a black cast because, okay, it's this. I don't know when the fuck it came out. Who cares? Because you can tell that we need to have more black characters in the movies, and why not make the Honeymooners? I mean, I guess anybody can play those characters, but you can tell it was forced. So who's popular right now? What fat black comedian can we throw in there? Let's get Cedric the Entertainer, who's not funny. And let's get someone who's skinny and who can play off of him. Let's get Mike Epps, who's funny for the most part. But you can tell that the only reason that they did this, Honeymooners more was bad because of its story, which was nothing like the show, not because they were black. And that's fine. I'm pretty sure. I've seen the trailer and I've seen clips online and it looked god-awful. But my point was, it's just like, it was forced, because of that race change. But I didn't think any of it looked funny at all. And that's bad because I do like Mike Epps from what I've seen him. I liked him in the second Friday movie. I liked him in the second Resident Evil movie. Let's see, what else have I seen him in? All About the Benjamins wasn't really good with Ice Cube, but I liked him in it. He is a funny actor. Friday 3 sucked bad. but he was funny in it. Um, but wow, now you know what? Now, thanks, Raj. Now for my Is It Worth the Hate? I'm gonna have to watch The Honeymooners, see how bad it is. Um, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I got so many videos to do, and I don't want to do that one at all. But I will. I still have Jurassic World to do for Is It Worth the Hype. I still have been so fucking busy lately. I have Cutthroat Island to still do for Is It Worth the Hate. Still have my Jaws Is It Worth the Hype to do. And then eventually I'll get to Jaws the Revenge for Is It Worth the Hate. That one I'm kind of looking forward to because from what I've seen, it looks so bad that I really might enjoy it. I know the fucking shark explodes at the end after getting stabbed or something. And Mario Van Peebles and his bad Jamaican accent. And Michael Caine in a fucking Jaws movie. I want to see it. And of course, Jaws 3. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. But it has Dennis Quaid and 80s Leah Thompson. So it's got that going for it. God. We still have to do our Stir of Echoes review. I still have to do a God, I still haven't done my fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre review. My work is kicking my ass. Our inventory's coming up. I've been working so much overtime, and then my wife has been working so many nights. So it's just I've been so fucking tired. But it seems like my channel is finally taking off a little bit more. I think I'm at like 193 subscribers now, so it's slowly growing, which is great. Raj, I know, we'll just say I know you've been busy these past couple weeks, and I hope things are turning for the better. My podcast is now up. I did not want to share it with you while things were going on, but I can send you the link or tag you on Facebook. I finally listened to it, and it came out really good. Came out really funny. I think that podcast has helped me grow a little bit on my channel because since it's been posted, I gained like 2 or 3 subscribers. Really, really funny. It's about 90 minutes long. So if you could just play it like on your computer in the background, like if you're, cleaning or just reading or vegging, or if you're at work and bored, you could just have it play. It turned out to be really, really funny. A lot of jokes I forgot we did on Poltergeist. A lot of midget jokes, and we did. There's a Roman Polanski joke thrown in there for good measure, and it just turned out to be a lot of fun. I think they said that I might be able to be back for another episode after the holidays, because I know they got their holiday schedule set up. I have said if they ever do a Jason Goes to Hell, or what else did I say, or Devil's Rejects podcast, I'd be glad to do that. And I still talk to one of the hosts all the time, so I think that might happen. But I'll send you the link, Raj, when I'm done with this. Yeah, I think you get a kick out of it. I think you'll like our skit in the beginning. They do some really good effects with the voices. They make it seem like I'm stuck, in the spirit world. And then they're remembering, do you remember, when we talked to that actress, what she said? And they do the Wayne's World, noise when they do their flashback. And then they have, the effects to make it sound like when they're talking to her, they're talking to a chipmunk. And it was a lot of fun. But I've just been so busy. I'm trying to keep content going for my channel, and it's just some of the stuff's slowly growing. Some of it's not moving at all, but it is what it is. I do this for fun. I try to get one video out a week. That's why I like these live streams. These live streams seem to get a lot of hits, even though it doesn't get so much interaction. But they are what they are. And then again, I just do this channel for fun. I don't monetize. I don't care about analytics. None of that stuff, because I don't want to be like I'm in a lot of these YouTube groups on Facebook, and I'm about ready to leave them all. I'm only in them to share my videos and to get my name out. But some of these people are so obsessed with I only got 2 subscribers in the past week. I'm my views are going down. What can I do to improve this? And I just tell them, I said, you need to stop doing, to stop obsessing over this stuff. It's YouTube. If you monetize, you're not gonna get rich. I'm sorry, unless you're someone like Jeremy Johns or like Andre Black Nerd or the Nostalgia Critic or the Angry Video Game Nerd, people that have over 1 million subscribers, then you're gonna make money monetizing. If you're like me, 193 subscribers, you ain't gonna make jack shit. You're gonna make like a penny a month with every video, and I don't think they pay you anything until you make that first $100. So you ain't gonna get shit. So there's no point of obsessing over, how many people watch your channel and this and that. It's not a job. It's not a way to make money. It's a way to have fun. I mean, the reason I'm doing this right now, I mentioned it before you came on, Raj, is Rachel is working right now. She's working Black Friday at her store. She's scheduled till 12:30. Poor girl probably won't get home till about 1:45, if after that. So I'm going to be probably up late, waiting for her to at least fucking text me that she's coming home. Daughter's finally asleep. The Wii froze while I was watching The Office. I didn't feel like fucking with that. I don't feel like getting into a movie. So I'm like, you know what? I plan on drinking tonight. Working Black Friday has to be a nightmare. Yeah, I don't feel like putting in a movie, and I got so many things to watch that, I feel bad that I haven't watched a lot of what you sent me. It's just been so busy. But like I said, I watched Freaks. But I felt like, what? I'm going to be drinking tonight anyway, so why not? Even if Roger's the only one that watches me or whoever, I just feel like bullshitting on YouTube. What's the worst that could happen? No one watches. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But I asked Rachel because, she was not looking forward to this because, working retail fucking sucks. Public is nothing but a bunch of assholes, especially on Black Friday. They think that what they do, they can do no wrong. She says that it probably won't be as bad where she's at now, because a lot of the people that, try to get the sales, they do all that shit in the morning. She's more worried about like the cleanup, because these customers don't give a fucking shit about where they put their stuff. But I personally, I think I would rather deal with the cleanup than having to deal with the customers in general. Because man, I remember when I worked at a grocery store. Oh, this was years ago, and we were closing down, man. And first off, I worked in the bakery, so I was always there at 6 in the morning. No, I was always there at 3 in the morning. I had to have the fucking donut case filled by 6. So I had 3 hours to bake all the bread, fry all the donuts, get them all filled, iced, this and that shit. And I always had that same fucking old couple that at 6, if it wasn't fucking filled by 6:02, they would bitch and moan. And I would tell them, I would say, well, you're here every day. I'm so sorry that your donut holes are not made yet. They're over there with the grease dripping off of them. So wait about 30 seconds, and then I'll glaze them for you. Go over there and drink your free fucking warm coffee that we put out every morning that you drink, and I'll make sure that you can get a free sample. I mean, and that's how it is working with the public, dude. It just fucking sucks. I had this one big fat guy. Every fucking Sunday, we would always make extra donuts because, we always had the church crowd. And because it get busy right around 11, 12, and church got out. And we always had this fucking same fucking fat guy. And he was one of these guys that he'd be in the motorized cart, with the handlebars that he would drive around. And it wasn't because he was, handicapped. It was just because he was fat and lazy. And we'd always have to stop what we were doing because he didn't want to get the donuts out of the case himself. Whatever. So, we had it. It's not like, most of the bakeries where you'd have to have the people get it. We also had like the donut case where you can open up in front and grab your donuts. He didn't want to do that. Whatever. But he was also this type of guy that he said, I'm going to be there at 12 noon, and he would call you at like 11 fucking 50. And I want this amount, and this amount, and this amount. And I would tell him, I said, you're here every Sunday. I can't guarantee you what we have with what's already made. I'm done frying the donuts at 6 in the morning. I said, I'll grab you what we have available. And then, of course, he would go and talk to the manager. And then, of course, the manager is one of those customers always right guys. And I looked at the manager and said, what the fuck do you want me to do? How am I supposed to have, this stuff kept for him? Because he calls 10 minutes before he's going to show up. And I tell him, call me the night before, and I'll make you your own fucking box and set it aside. All you gotta do is show up, ring your little bell or horn or whatever's on that fucking cart, and then I'll come and I will walk and put it in your little, your little grocery cart in the front. He doesn't want to do that. Well, then fuck him. That's on him. I mean, it really sucks working with the public, dude. Especially when, the store, we got our notification that the store was closing. We hit bankruptcy and this and that. We were one of the last stores to close in the area. So we were selling everything. We were selling like our cake containers and our decorating bags and this and that. And we still had people haggling us. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to give you something that's worth $5. We have it marked at $3. I'm not giving it to you for 50 cents. And then they go and complain, and then, of course, the manager would come and be like, give it to him for 50 cents. I'm like, the fuck, man? I said, don't you want to make any profit at all? You want to make as much profit as you can as this store is closing. But that's what it is. It's the public. The public thinks they can get whatever the fuck they want. My wife works in customer service. And they have like a no-hassle return policy. She would tell me all these stories about how some people would return clothes that the store that she works at does not sell them, and the manager would still take those clothes back just to give out store credit because, just to get a possible future sale. I'm just like, why? That's letting these customers abuse their powers, and that's just fucking retarded. The customer's always right is one thing, but just letting them abuse their power and doing whatever the fuck they want is just asinine and pointless and stupid. And I'm glad I don't work with the public anymore, because I probably would have gotten fucking fired a long time ago. The way I act at work, I'm surprised I don't get fired now. Because I don't take any bullshit from any of those people. The fuck was I talking about? I don't know. Roger had me talking about working Black Friday. Yeah. Oh, I never did a Black Friday sale because, I don't want to deal with that chaos. It reminds me of those old videos you go on YouTube of like, see, Raj, I'm sure you remember, like the Cabbage Patch doll craziness. You see these little girls getting trampled by adults over a fucking doll because, they gotta get this one specific one for their kids. Holy shit. How much of an asshole do you have to be to trample a little girl for a goddamn doll? And then those dolls aren't worth jack shit. Beanie Babies. Beanie Babies. I remember that fucking craze. There used to be a place where I would get money orders and checks and stuff like that, and they would sell Beanie Babies because people would buy them. They would sell Beanie Babies for $50 a piece, and they would have people dumb enough to buy Beanie Babies for $50 fucking dollars. I guarantee you that Beanie Baby is probably sitting in their basement worth only 50 cents. I mean, Jesus Christ. I've watched, like, I remember there used to be a show on VH1 called, like, I Love the 80s, and they were talking about the Cabbage Patch doll craze. And oh my God, you would literally see people hurtling over other people to get that specific doll. Jingle All the Way comes to mind. Exactly. I need the Turbo Man. I am not a pervert. Oh my God. But see, I think from what I remember, Jingle All the Way was kind of fun in how bad it was. That's actually spoilers. When my Christmas movies, I like to do Christmas movie reviews in December. I have planned on doing Santa's Sleigh. And I'm going to do, I haven't seen Jingle All the Way in probably 10 years. Don't remember that much. I'm going to do it for I'm going to do it for my Is It Worth the Hate category. And I don't think it's going to be Is It Worth the Hate because I don't care what people say. I love Sinbad. He's done a lot of stupid, shitty movies that I enjoy. I love House Guest. I don't care what people say. House Guest is funny. But the clips I've seen of Sinbad, I know I'm going to enjoy. And it is the perfect Christmas movie for America. Because if you think about it, a overworked, never there father tries to buy his son's love with a toy. That is America if it's anything. And I don't care. Arnold does a horrible job. He makes these horrible decisions when he tries to do comedy. Usually they end up at least being so bad it's good. So I'm looking forward to watching Jingle All the Way. And it's neat because I know Jim Belushi shows up as a Santa Claus. So it's kind of cool seeing him and Jim Belushi being reunited from Red Heat, which I haven't seen in fucking years either. God, I haven't even reviewed any Arnold movies. Holy shit. And I loved Arnold growing up. Predator. Predator's in my top 3 films of all time. Fucking love Predator. Commando is just flat out fun. I enjoy every Terminator movie. I don't care what anybody says. I enjoy Terminator 3. Terminator Genesis was fun. Don't care. But God, Red Heat. Oh, Jesus Christ. Conan the Destroyer. I don't care. Sorry. I remember Conan the Barbarian being incredibly boring, even though James Earl Jones turns into a snake. But again, I grew up with Conan the Destroyer, as bad as it is. It's got a special place in my heart for nostalgia. But yeah, the Expendables movies. I remember Collateral Damage actually being good for what it was. I like Maggie. Maggie was really good. The one where his daughter's slowly turning into a zombie. I was surprised at how good Arnold could actually do. I mean, that scene where she's in the doctor's office and the doctor is examining his daughter as she's slowly turning into this zombie, and you see the pain in Arnold's eyes. You see him tearing up. I'm like, where the fuck was this Arnold like 20 years ago? Making goofy, let off some steam Bennett movies, which is what he... What's up, boys? I like most Terminators. Think Salvation was worst. Maggie was pretty cool. Arnie was also funny as hell in Escape Plan. Yes, Indie Phantom's here. Escape Plan was good. I'm glad him and Stallone started doing some movies together. Speaking of him being funny in Escape Plan, that part where he's locked up and he's being tortured and he's screaming in, I'm going to assume it's German as he's being tortured. Hilarious. And what was it when they're getting in that fist fight and Stallone punches Arnold and he says something like, you hit like a vegetarian or some shit like that. Loved it. I wish they would do more films together because I know in the 80s and 90s they were competing with each other, but Escape Plan was really, really funny, really good. They're doing 2 movies now. I know they're currently filming Escape Plan 2. I don't know if Arnold's involved, and then they've already got the distribution deal for Escape Plan 3, and they haven't even finished Escape Plan 2. Stallone, he's still cranking this shit out. I can't wait for Creed 2. Creed 2. Dolph Lundgren is returning. Thank you. I'm assuming it's going to be, Creed Jr. versus Drago Jr., which seems cheesy as hell, but I'm still looking forward to it. It's going to be great to see. I guess since they're not fucking doing Expendables 4, it's going to be great to see Stallone and Lundgren back on screen again together. Hopefully they don't get Brigitte Nielsen, because I'm sure last time I saw her, she wasn't very good to look at. She's, got the face of a pufferfish right now, all in nothing but leather, like beef jerky. What did I see her in? I saw her in the trailer for something called Mercenaries, where it's basically the Asylum's female version of the Expendables, which looked horrible. I mean, it's got her and Christina Loken. Love her. at least looking at her. But it's also got like Vivica A. Fox and Cynthia Rothrock. So it's basically, you know, the Asylum's version of the Expendables. But Stallone's cranking this stuff out. I can't wait. Creed 2, I'm really looking forward to. Stallone is actually directing Creed 2. He wrote it, so I'm going to be happy with that. Loved Creed. Creed, I thought, when I watched Rocky Balboa, I love all the Rocky films. I even love Rocky 5. Don't care what anyone says. I've even defended it in my You Hate It, I Don't. Love all of them. And then when Rocky Balboa, I thought that was a perfect ending to the Rocky Balboa story. Like, perfect, you know, close the book on Rocky Balboa. We don't need another Rocky film. And then Creed comes out. And I'm thinking to myself, do we really need another film? And now Rocky's the trainer. But you know what? I liked it. I liked Creed a lot. I thought it was really good. I loved Stallone taking the Mickey role. And by the end of the movie, you see, you know, he's called Adonis. Adonis Creed is walking down. It's from behind. It's this perfect behind them shot. And Adonis is walking down with, you know, his hood up. And you see Stallone from behind. He's wearing the hat. It's like Rocky and Mickey are back together. Just the roles are reversed. I absolutely loved it. So I'm really looking forward to Creed 2. I'm disappointed that we won't get Expendables 4 because Stallone walked away. He walked away. I guess whoever the fucking producer is, Stallone wanted something. I do think Rocky Balboa was a good ending. People loved Creed, but I didn't really care for the main character. Rocky was still awesome in it, and I was happy to see Sly get an Oscar nom. Sly deserved that Oscar nom. And it's old enough, so I'm going into spoiler territory. You know, I got 3 people watching. So if it spoils the movie, you know, go in the other room or something for now. But you find out Rocky's got he's got cancer, and you see him going through the chemo and the pain in his face, and he does a damn good job. I love the scene where I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's in Creed where he's at the grave sites of Adrian and Paulie, and it's just another day at the end. It's like it's something he does every day because he's got, you know, the chair and the tree, and he sits down and talks to them. As for Michael B. Jordan, not Michael Jordan, as Adonis Creed, I thought he did fine. I thought he did okay. I like Michael B. Jordan. Everything I've seen him in, his character was decent. He was just kind of this troubled kid, you know, from the streets. But I thought his performance was really good. I really liked him in the Fantastic Four movie from a few years ago. A lot of people hated it. Don't care. I really liked him in it. I'm excited, or at least interested, in seeing him in Black Panther. I know absolutely nothing about Black Panther. I talked to Raj a couple days ago, or a couple weeks ago, what have you, and we were talking about just how we're sick of superhero films because it's one every fucking 3 months, and we both talked about how we enjoyed Doctor Strange, and it was great to see, you know, really good, you know, origin story again because we've seen so many fucking origin stories, but it was good to see a really good comic book movie in a long time. And I think the reason why I like Doctor Strange so much is because I know jack shit about the character other than he's a wizard, and I really enjoyed it. So that's why I'm looking forward to Black Panther. I know even less about Black Panther than I know about Doctor Strange. I think that's why I loved Guardians of the Galaxy, because I knew nothing of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And to me, it was like that was this generation Star Wars, maybe, you know. And I loved it. Had a blast with Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Guardians 2 was really good. I didn't like it as much as the first, but it was cool seeing Kurt Russell in it. Stallone's in it. Back to Stallone. I really kind of wished Stallone and Kurt Russell would have had some screen time. It would have been like a Tango and Cash reunion. But it was cool seeing Stallone on screen with Michael Rooker, so we had our cliffhanger reunion. That's a movie I need to revisit. Cliffhanger. God, I haven't seen that one in a long time. Oh, Rennie Harlan. overall, I really like Rennie Harlan films. Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, um, Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I'm like I mentioned, I've had the DVD in my possession for like a year, but Cutthroat Island, I gotta see if it's worth the hate. Only film that I know was Rennie Harlan that I don't really like that much was 12 Rounds with John Cena. Yeah. Um, I watched it for a request. I don't know. I gave it like maybe a passing grade, maybe like a D plus or something, but it was okay. Not Rennie Harlan's best. He know the man knows how to do a long kiss goodnight. Yes, I know. I need to see that one too. That's the one. It's another Gina Davis one, right? I think where she plays like the spy with amnesia. Um, yeah, because I think that was their last movie together. Because I know they were married at the time. Um, and I've actually heard nothing but good about Long Kiss Goodnight. I really want to see it. I enjoy Gina Davis. She's not just a pretty face. I've liked what I've seen of her. I mean, yes, she is very attractive, but she's always fun, or she's serious, but she always does a great job. She's fucking serious as hell and great in The Fly. But I like how in the beginning of The Fly she's a little flirty and fun. Fucking Earth Girls Are Easy. Come on. God, she was so much fun in that stupid movie. And I love Earth Girls Are Easy. Oh my God. How could you not go wrong with a Valley Girl, Gina Davis, and Julie Brown, and they're acting against Jeff Goldblum, Damon Wayans, Jim Carrey, and what the fuck is his name? Michael McCain, of all people. And three of them play fucking aliens. Fantastic. Unnecessary, musical montages. Um, the opening sequence that's in animation to Julie Brown singing. So much fucking fun. What the fuck is his name? I want to say Sam McMurray, but the guy who plays Gina Davis's fiance or husband or boyfriend or whatever, he plays a perfect sleazy asshole. Oh man, Earth Girls Are Easy was a lot of fun, and I remember one of my friends let me borrow it. I'd seen it before, but she let me borrow like this 4-pack, and Earth Girls Were Easy was on it. Cliffhanger is one of my favorites. Tend to love action movies with snow and mountains. See, and that's what I like. What I liked. It was just a fun movie. Stallone was a likable action hero. Michael Rooker was great as the best friend. John Lithgow was a fantastic villain, and I had only seen him in like Harry and the Hendersons, and then I watched him in Cliffhanger. I'm like, holy fuck, that's the same guy. I've still not seen Earth Girls Are Easy, but always been curious. Well, Indie Phantom, there's no middle ground. You're either going to love it or hate it. I believe you've said you love Howard the Duck, correct? If you love Howard the Duck, I think you're really, really going to enjoy Earth Girls Are Easy. It's another cheesy, stupid 80s science fiction movie. You just go with it. It was around when Jim Carrey wasn't Jim Carrey yet. I think he was actually credited as James Carrey. He was still on In Living Color at the time, but he hadn't done Ace Ventura yet. But fun movie. And back to Cliffhanger, the characters were great. The villains were great. Hell, the black guy, Leon, I actually hadn't seen Howard the Duck last time we chatted. Now I've seen it, and I greatly enjoyed it. Awesome. So I think if you really enjoyed it, you're going to like Earth Girls Are Easy. I really think you will. It's the same type of cheesy, goofy humor. You're going into Howard the Duck. Okay, I'm going to watch a movie about a fucking duck from another planet, walks and talks, falls in love with Leah Thompson. You got Tim Robbins as a retarded janitor, and he saves the world while battling Jeffrey Jones. But it's one of those movies you going in with, like I was talking about the Sharknado films before you joined. You're going in with that mind frame, It's not like you're going in to watch, fucking Godfather, which I still haven't seen yet, Roger. Don't shoot me. But still, you have to have certain mind frames going in with certain movies. But again, with Cliffhanger, I was talking about, you know, the villains. Leon was one of the guys from Cool Runnings, you know. I went from watching Cool Runnings, the goofy, you know, the four goofy guys from Cool Runnings. And then, you know, I saw Leon in Cliffhanger. I'm like, holy shit, that's the same fucking dude walking around, you know, saying bitch every 30 seconds, threatening to kill, you know, Stallone's wife or girlfriend slowly with his knife. I'm like, holy shit. It's just like John Lithgow. Change of character. Fantastic. And I loved it. And again, like you mentioned with like the snow and stuff, it was cool seeing like when Michael Rooker was getting beat up by the either Irish or Scottish guy or whatever, or British, I don't fucking know. He was saying he was a soccer player, and he like when he kicks Michael Rooker slow motion in the face, and you just see the blood shoot out of his mouth onto the white snow. That contrast of colors is cool. Like when Papa Walton, I'll call him, I don't remember the guy's name, when he's slowly killed and you see his blood landing on the white snow, it's a fantastic contrast in color. I love it, and that's why I don't think it'll ever get made. You know, the new Friday the 13th movie, people keep saying, you know, it'll never get made because, you know, script this and script that. A lot of people want to see Jason in the wintertime. I think it would be cool to see Jason stalking teens in the winter just so we can have that contrast of the red blood on the white snow. Yeah, I've always thought that was odd seeing Papa Walton in that. And see, I never watched the Waltons. I never grew up on that, but I can't think of his name, but it's neat seeing one of those type of actors put in there. Like Rob Zombie does it a lot. Like in 31. I know Raj didn't care too much for 31. I loved it. But that's why I like Rob Zombie like picks people from the 70s and throws them in his movies. You know, obscure people. In 31, one of the main cast or heroes or whatever, one of the people being stalked by all the evil people, is Freddie Boom Boom Washington from Welcome Back, Kotter. Who knew that guy was still alive? I hadn't seen him since like that. Had a good time with 31, especially that main character, very sinister. Yes, I loved Doomhead. Richard Bracke or Brack. Jay's here. Friday the 13th. Jason terrorizes a gay rehabilitation camp on Kwanzaa. Give it time. Give it time, Jay. It might happen. You never know. They always have to have the token black character, like they did have the token black character in the remake, who I hated, not because he was black, but because his character was stupid. So you never know. But like Rob Zombie, who knew that Freddie Boom Boom Washington was still alive? I hadn't seen him since that 1990s, you know, the Jackson 5 TV movie where he played, you know, evil Joe Jackson. Who knew he was still fucking alive? Michael Berryman, he's on his fucking last leg. Rob Zombie throws him in Devil's Rejects. Sid Haig did not have that much of a career anymore. Brought him back, you know, with the House of a Thousand Corpses. So it's great. I like when you have, why the fuck is this person in this film? But they're great because Papa Walton in Cliffhanger was a likable, funny character. I love when he's painting those dumbass pictures in the beginning, and he's trying to sell to Michael Rooker. PJ Souls he put in Rejects. Exactly. And PJ Souls still looked fucking good, man. Who knew? She still looked as good to me as she did in the original Halloween. I like that. And you know, E.G. Daily. I've had a crush on fucking E.G. Daily since Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And holy shit, when he throws E.G. Daily in Devil's Rejects and he makes her a whore of all things. There's, you know, my childhood just exploded again. I'm like, yes, that was fantastic. And then again, throws her in 31. And I don't care how psychotic she was in 31. She was still sexy as hell to me. But PJ Souls. What was it? Rock and Roll High School. That horrible, stupid ass movie she was in. But I watched just because the Ramones were in it. So much fun. It was stupid as shit, but PJ Souls. It was good seeing her again. I think there's even a song called "Whatever Happened to PJ Souls," and then she's in Devil's Rejects. So much fun. Like I said, Michael Berryman. He looks like he's on his. He looks like he's on his last fucking legs, you know. And he shows up in Devil's Rejects. Meg Foster. Haven't seen Meg Foster in probably 35, 40 years. No, I'm just kidding. Last time I saw Meg Foster was like They Live. Or what else was she in? Masters of the Universe. And then Blind Fury with Rutger Hauer that no one has seen but me probably. And Meg Foster's got them creepy blue eyes. I always thought she was pretty. And then I finally got to see her naked. And sadly, it was in Lords of Salem. Meg Foster now just looks like beef jerky. Oh God, Meg Foster her face saw too much sun. Well, not in the 80s, Jay. In the 80s, I thought she was pretty. But then again, like I said, when I finally got to see her naked, it was in Lords of Salem, and she's like, pushing 70. So it wasn't great. You know, like, it's like childhood ruined. I mean, I finally get to see Evil Lynn naked, and then now it's just like, it's like, you know, her boobs are hanging down to her knees. I'm surprised, you know, now she doesn't, you know, trip over those things or get rug burn on them when she's walking. Although I loved her character in 31. You know, she even looked more beef jerky-like in 31, but I really, really liked her character. It's like I've had this biggest crush on Marissa Tomei growing up, back from A Different World. So cute in A Different World, and then on My Cousin Vinny, she was sexy as hell, even though she was annoying as fuck. And then I never saw The Wrestler. Didn't see it in theaters, but you know, people are making this big deal. Oh, it's her first nude scene or second nude scene, or she does a nude scene. I'm like, yes. And then I saw it, and don't get me wrong, she's still fine as hell. You know, she's the main reason to see Spider-Man Homecoming, because I didn't think that movie was really great other than Hot Aunt May. This is just me on my taste. We finally see her naked, and first off, she's doing a striptease for Michael, what the fuck is it? I was going to say Michael Rooker. Mickey Rourke. Not Michael Rooker. Jesus Christ. So she's doing a striptease for Mickey Rourke. Speaking of beef jerky face. And she finally gets naked, and she's tatted up. She's got the nipple rings. I'm just like, yeah. My crush was Elisa Silverstone till she got annoying and vegan. She's still pretty. I've seen some pics of her where, you know how a lot of celebrities saying they don't want to wear fur, so they do these nude photo shoots. And she did a butt shot. She still looked nice. She still had a great body. I don't really care if you're vegan as long as you don't push that shit on me. I'm sorry, I'm going to eat a fucking hamburger, and if you say I shouldn't eat it, I'm going to put some bacon on it just to piss you off. But she was cute to look at as long as she didn't talk. She's kind of like Drew Barrymore to me, where, you know, whenever time she talks like this, and I just can't listen to it and just understand her. It's like, as stupid as they are, I think, dude, she chews food and spits it in her kid's mouth. Okay, she's fucking retarded, okay, but she's nice to look at. It doesn't matter. I can separate how a person looks to what they do in personal life. I like Marilyn Manson's music. I'd never go talk to the guy because I'd be afraid he'd hit me with his penis or pee on me, okay? I could separate that. It's like we were talking about with I mentioned it earlier in this, your Uma Thurman video. And, you know, I can still watch a Harvey Weinstein produced film even though he's a piece of shit. I even said, you know, I can separate that. I'm still going to fucking love Beetlejuice, and I'm going to love Ferris Bueller even though we have Jeffrey Jones, that fucking sex offender, in there. It doesn't change the fact. And so I'll still look at Alicia Silverstone even though she regurgitates her food in her kid's mouth like a bird. Anyway, but, you know, I can't listen to her talk. She's like Drew Barrymore. Silverstone is still hot in my opinion. I love Lisa Bonet. There's a great little NC-17 flick called Bank Robber where she's naked. I still got to see Angel Heart. I saw pictures of her, and like when she first got with Lenny Kravitz, and she was looking bad. She's looking horrible. But again, fucking Mickey Rourke. Why would I want to have a watch? Angel Heart is one of my favorite movies. I want to see it, dude. But again, we're talking about, you know, sex scenes with Mickey Rourke. I mean, that's got to take me out of it. Yeah, she was naked in Angel Heart, Jay. I guess that's why she was written off the Cosby Show. Funny how she was written off the Cosby Show for doing a sex scene with Mickey Rourke, giving her own, you know, sitcom. But, you know, it was Bill Cosby sprinkling the stuff in people's drinks, you know, family-friendly stuff. But, what the fuck was it? Alicia Silverstone, like it's like Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore is cute. She's attractive. I can't listen to her talk because, you know, I like the Charlie's Angels movies, even though the Charlie's Angels movies are dumb as shit, but they're fun. They know what they are. They know they're stupid, fun action movies. And I love Crispin Glover. Crispin Glover is fantastic as a thin man. But it's like watching Drew Barrymore kick someone's ass. You know, she's tied to this chair. But then she jumps up and she breaks out of the chair and she kicks the guy's ass, you know, on wires. You can tell it's on wires. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter. But, you know, she beats the shit out of him and you're like, yes, that's a cool scene. But then she talks and she's like this. And she's like, and that's kicking your ass. I'm like, stop. Poison Ivy, she was smoking. Yeah, but didn't she have sex with Tom Skerritt? I'm just like, connection. So I don't know if that's working. Alyssa Milano is another super hot girl who's kind of annoying now, but was perfect so many times. Again, yeah, Alyssa Milano was great. She's the only reason why I watched that dumbass fucking Marky Mark movie Fear, because she played a whore. I'm like, God, that movie was garbage. Holy shit. I mean, Marky Mark is not a good actor. Marky Mark was never a good actor. Say what you will about the Planet of the Apes remake. I enjoyed it. Not for Marky Mark. The Happening belongs in the toilet. The Happening, you know, M. Night Shyamalan is lucky he didn't get shot for The Happening because he made Split, which was apparently a fantastic movie. But Marky Mark fucking sucks. The acting talent went into his brother Donnie, you know, the new kid on the block. Of all fucking people, the acting talent went into him. He is amazing in Boogie Nights. I'll give him that. But Tiffany, the singer, I love. Now she's kind of chunky. I saw her Playboy spread, Jay. She was fine. But, okay, Roger. Watch Boogie Nights. And watch how good he is in Boogie Nights. Then watch Fear. And granted, I think it's his first movie, but holy fuck did he suck. And it's like cringe. It's worse than The Happening because he's not just trying to be the sexy bad boy. He's trying to be like the psychotic bad boy. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. You're not intimidating. You're not scary. It's horrible. And again, I only watched it to see Alyssa Milano be the whore, back then. And she's not even likable in that film. And she doesn't even get naked. So I guess I have to go for, you're right, Jay. He still sucks. I'm going to have to go to, what the fuck is, Poison Ivy 2. You know, we're talking about Drew Barrymore and Poison Ivy. I guess Alyssa Milano did Poison Ivy 2. Alyssa was sexy in Fear, but just a butt shot. Damn, I don't remember that butt shot. I'll just Google it. I'm not fucking watching Fear again just for Alyssa Milano butt shot. I'll go, like, put on Embrace the Vampire 2 or whatever the fuck she was in, or Poison Ivy 2, or any of those. She's nice to look at. It's just, God, I don't ever think was she ever, like, actually good in anything? Because I only remember seeing her in Fear, which she sucked, and never watched Charmed. She was in, I think, an episode of Wilfred, which was fun, a great show, but I don't remember her being good. And then she was in Commando, and I'm sorry I can't say anything, about her being attractive in Commando because she was like 12. And she was, playing opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger. Poison Ivy, The New Seduction, is the hottest of them all with Jamie Presley. I don't think Milano was good in anything, just hot. Now, Jamie Presley, that's hot. Holy shit, dude. My Name is Earl. She was fantastic playing the dumb white trash character. She was likable. She was an evil fucking character. And she was nice to look at. Rose McGowan and Scream. Yum. Yeah, for the most part, Rose McGowan is attractive, especially in, like, Planet Terror as well, even though she's got the one fucking leg. Too bad she shaved off all of her hair. But what were we talking about? Who were we talking about? We went from Rose McGowan, Alyssa Milano, Jamie Presley. Watch her in not another teen movie, because she's the bad girl in not another teen movie, and she's in a cheerleading outfit, and she's in her panties in one scene during like the dance sequence. She is fantastic. She's funny. She's attractive. She knows it. She shows it, and she's great in everything. She was one of them. As much as I loved every character in My Name Is Earl, I loved watching her the most, for obvious reasons. I'm gonna sneeze, and it's about ready to come out, and it's not gonna happen yet. See, I hate that shit. Rose McGowan. Yeah, she shaved off all of her hair, and at first I thought I got her confused with Shannon Doherty, because I know Shannon Doherty is bald because she has the breast cancer. And then Rose McGowan had her head shaved, and then I'm thinking, does she have cancer too? And I'm not making light of that, so don't think of that. But then I Googled it. I said, why does Rose McGowan have a shaved head? And it's because of all the Harvey Weinstein stuff and this and that. But now she said she shaved her head because she didn't want to look like the common American man's fuck toy. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. Not everybody is Harvey Weinstein, lady. But whatever. But yeah, she was very likable in Scream. I actually prefer her with the blonde hair. I think she only had the blonde hair because she was playing the blonde bimbo in Scream. See Rose McGowan as Hot as Hell, Bad Girl, and Devil in the Flesh. The only thing I remember about Devil in the Flesh is that very sexy VHS cover where she's like, you got the red lipstick and you got the dark hair. Her skin tone is like this pale whitish, pinkish color, and like her hands are like this above her face. She's super trashy hot. She is. And I've also told I need to see her in Jawbreaker. I've heard Jawbreaker is really, really fun. I think isn't that where like they accidentally kill somebody and they try to hide the murder? I don't know, but I do like her no bullshit attitude. I really like that a lot. She doesn't take any shit from nobody. I was watching, and with all this Corey Feldman shit that I've been dealing with the past week or so, I was looking for just random stupid ass Corey Feldman videos on YouTube, and I watched an old Howard Stern interview she did with Corey, and it was funny watching her give no shit, and she was just throwing stuff at Corey and just putting him in his place, because it was it was like 1999, I think. She was living with Marilyn Manson at the time, and of course Corey was upset that Marilyn said some stupid things in his book about him, and she was throwing shit back at Corey and basically telling him to quit being such a fucking pussy. And I like that about her. I liked how she said what she wanted to say. If you didn't like it too fucking bad, she could be nice to you and have a wonderful conversation with you, but with this flip of that fucking switch, if you say the wrong thing, she'll get in your face and she'll call you out and she'll put you in your place. And I really like that about her. I've liked the characters I've seen her play. Like, I liked her as the character her character in Scream. As much as I fucking hated David Arquette in it and in all the other Scream movies, I really enjoyed Rose McGowan's character. She was very likable. She was very good to look at, even though her death was really retarded. And then in Planet Terror, I really liked her in Planet Terror. And I love everything about Planet Terror. There's nothing bad in that movie. It's from the beginning to end. It's nonstop fun. Back to Jamie Presley. You need to watch Ringmaster with Jerry Springer just for her. That's one of her sexiest bimbo trash roles. Also Joe Dirt, of course. I do want to see Ringmaster because it was the height of Jerry Springer. And I'm not going to lie, I fucking watched Jerry Springer. I did watch him a lot when I was out of high school and I didn't work. So it was a lot of, during the day, there was nothing on TV. So I watched a lot of ER. I watched a lot of ER. I watched a lot of Jerry Springer, and I watched Fucking Maury Povich. Ugh. But Ringmaster looked very self-aware, very funny. And again, if it's Jamie Presley, I'll fucking watch it. But I love it when she plays these like white trash characters because she's just so much fucking fun. But yeah, not another teen movie. Flat out worth watching her alone because she's so fun. But everybody is funny in that film. Chris Evans, your Captain America, everybody, recreates the whipped cream bikini, from Varsity Blues. You got, them recreating She's All That. Oh, God, all they do is like take off her glasses and pull her hair out of a ponytail. Now she's pretty. One of the only watchable parody movies out there, because I hate parody movies. I hate Scary Movie 2. I tolerate Scary Movie 1. Scary Movie 3 is great. That's it. Then there's Disaster Movie and Date Movie and this movie and that movie, and they're all garbage. Hate them all. They're not funny. But Not Another Teen Movie is great. I absolutely loved it. So much fun. And again, Jamie Presley, good to look at. What else are we talking? Oh, Drew Barrymore. I recently watched Cat's Eye for the first time in God knows how long. I forgot how much I enjoyed at least the first segment with James Woods. And say what you want about James Woods and his politics. I don't really care because I don't follow politics. Whenever I've seen James Woods in a role, I fucking love him. Love him in Any Given Sunday. When he plays I think he's the doctor. He's fantastic in that. John Carpenter's Vampires. A movie in John Carpenter's catalog that no one thinks of, and it's one of my favorites. I absolutely love John Carpenter's Vampires. It's definitely probably his last good film. The Hard Way with Michael J. Fox. Yes, that one was good too. Where he was the serious guy, and Michael J. Fox was like the fucking asshole. I'm better than you, prima donna actor. Really liked it. But yeah, John Carpenter's Vampires, I think it's probably Carpenter's last good movie. I mean, I did not really like Ghosts of Mars. I haven't seen The Ward, and I heard it was terrible. He did an episode of Masters of Horror, which was boring as fuck. Village of the Damned was okay. I liked it because I was a huge Christopher Reeve fan, but it wasn't anything special. I don't think he's done a movie since The Ward, and that came out in, 2012? 13? And I mean, now it's cool he's touring the country, in his concerts, for, he's playing all of his scores from his shows. I would love to see him in concert, and that would be cool. I've seen some stuff on YouTube. You can YouTube his concerts, and it's great. But he hasn't directed anything from The Ward. He's getting involved in this Halloween remake or Halloween sequel to part 1 bullshit, which I've talked about ad nauseum. And now we'll bring this back. First off, Danny McBride is writing it. Don't know if he's directing it. Whatever. And they were going to make it a direct sequel to part 2. Okay, whatever. And now they're making a direct sequel to part 1. Which it makes even less sense because Carpenter actually wrote part 2. Okay. Let's fuck with continuity even more. And now, even Danny McBride himself, I read this on Bloody Disgusting, Danny McBride himself has now said it's a sequel to part 1. And we're kind of changing the ending to part 1. So John Carpenter is now involved in a movie, and of course he's praising it. He thinks it's going to be great because, of course, he's making the money. He's praising this, and he's praising something that, John Carpenter can die tomorrow. What film will John Carpenter be always known for, no matter what? The first film that comes to your mind And even if you don't think it's even if it's not your favorite film in his filmography, the first movie that comes to mind when you hear John Carpenter's name is Halloween. Okay, it's not my favorite John Carpenter film. My favorite John Carpenter film is Big Trouble in Little China, followed by The Thing. And then there's of course Escape from New York, and then so much more. But he will always be known as the guy who created Halloween, and he should be known as the guy who created Halloween. But the thing is, now he is involved in a movie that is changing the ending to Halloween 1. What's the fucking point of doing that, man? Seriously. I mean, that's just retarded. I mean, it's destroying the one movie that you're known for. And I kind of chuckled when I read that now shooting is delayed until like 2018. So I'm great about that. I hope it fails. I mean, I really don't. Nah, I don't hope it fails. I don't hope any movie fails, but I'm not interested in seeing it. I won't be going out and spending my money to see it. I'll stream it on the computer. And I'm out of beer. So give me 30 seconds to go get another beer if you guys are still watching. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Took a little longer than expected. I had to open up my 30 pack, and those things are kind of a bitch to open up sometimes. But yeah, I don't get why they would change the ending to Halloween 1 just to make this another reboot of the series. I don't fucking know. Anyways, but if we're talking John Carpenter, if I'm gonna pick my favorite John Carpenter movie, it's gonna be Big Trouble in Little China. I love everything about that fucking movie, from Kurt Russell and his bad John Wayne impression to, the over the top action sequences to, the sorcery in it, the monsters in it, just the fun dialogue. Absolutely love Big Trouble in Little China. I might go put that on when I'm done with this. Who knows? Yeah. Anyways, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna ramble. I'm probably gonna finish what little bit of beer is in this can, and then I'm gonna call it a night. I have one person left watching. I've had as much as 4, and I've driven them all away. So, to all those people that did participate, Indie Phantom and JVTV and Channel Donstar, if you're still there, I'm going to say thanks for watching. Much appreciated as normal. I'm glad some people didn't didn't make it so it was just me talking to myself, at least for, hour and a half that I was talking. Much appreciated. Thank you to any new subscribers, this whole spiel. Yeah, so in the end, cheers, and I'll see you in the next one. Later, buddy. Later, Roger. Get a hold of me soon. Hope you're doing all right.